Hi, welcome back to The Child's View. I'm Sharon Brown, and this is my colleague Becky Roth and Miss Bernadette Towns. Today we're going to talk about childhood obesity and the need for active physical play. America has one of the highest percentage of obesity in the world, and the majority of that are children, and a great number of those children are between the ages of 5 and 17. According to the American Academy of Pediatrics, children should be engaged in at least 3 hours of active physical play every single day throughout the day. And we don't get that.
No,
we don't get that. And there's reasons. There's reasons. So if we really look at why children are obese or why we are obese, is so much of our food is processed. Yeah. So if we were to look back maybe in the 20s and the 30s and even in the 40s, less processed food, less obese people. Things for our children are fears of letting them go outside and play. Now when I grew up in a very small town, really close here, 50 miles out, little bitty. But the whole entire town would play baseball. The school would leave all the baseball equipment out, and the town would get together.
Wow. Imagine.
They would leave the tennis stuff out for us to play tennis.
Awesome.
And during the summer, all the kids got together. Now, mind you, there was only 260 people in my town when I grew up.
Wow.
So 60 of those were children. We would get together and play hide and seek or spotlight at night. So we were always outside.
Oh, yeah.
Never ever fear.
Yep.
Now we have the fear of allowing our children to go to the park, you know. In fact, they take bathrooms out of parks because they don't want
safe.
Yeah, they want it to be safe.
Well, and video games and television.
Yes.
There we go.
Sedentary activities, right?
Agreed.
We've kind of shifted from that outdoor play to being in front of the television.
Exactly.
We've got to get back outside.
Exactly. So processed food, lack of exercise, and so what can we do about this? One of the things, I'm hoping that people start to see that and start to see how that sedentary life is affecting you, not only physically, but mentally.
Right.
Mentally.
Well, with our kids, we had a rule in the house that they could not watch be on any digital device or anything until it was dark. No movies, no TV until it was dark. As long as there was sunlight, you go outside and you play. And I kind of grew up that way too. And I grew up on the East Coast, okay? Yeah. There was snow. All right. So my mom would put me in this humongous snowsuit and, head to toe kind of snowsuit and be like, go out and play. We came in once to go to the restroom and get hot chocolate. And then we put that snowsuit on again and out we went until it was dark. We were not allowed to come inside in the snow. I mean, you don't know the games we came up with, my brother, my cousins, and we talk about imagination. We played all kinds of things because we were forced to be out there.
But you didn't even feel like it was forced. It was
it was fun. We had a good time.
Right.
But we're not allowed to do that, and so what we're seeing are America as a whole, we're getting more and more obese, which we have then a high rate of diabetes, high rate of heart disease, and other diseases that are affected by being obese. And so one of the things that what can we do about it? Is first of all start eating better, which we are all eating.
The whole family.
The whole family.
Not just a child,
the whole
but
family.
The whole family.
But you're going to teach those young children that lifestyle by modeling it. So how about let's all go out on a bike ride? How about let's all go out for a walk? How about let's do that? If it has to be inside, could we do some video that we are all moving together?
Or build that block tower out of the boxes.
Maybe park a little bit farther away and have
all of
those
us walk in.
So the bottom line is that we need to do something about our obesity.
I think
fast foods, right? Too many fast foods. We've got to stop that. Grab snacks, healthy snacks.
And I think it starts though when they're infants, to be truthful. We know that babies will not overeat on their own.
Right.
So what happens is as they get a little older and you have that little gerber glass jar and you're going, just one more bite, and you're trying to finish that jar because you don't want it to waste, that baby's now learning to overeat.
Right.
And you're learning to and you'll know when they're overeating because they start spitting it out or they'll move their face. They don't want it anymore.
And you just wipe it off and shove it back in,
don't you? And that's the thing. It's like, no, don't do that. Because you're teaching them to overeat. You're teaching them not to listen to their body cues.
Right.
You know, and it's so important to teach good eating habits from when they're little. And, you know, I don't know about you, but I was learned, you know, to clear my plate. And I feel downright guilty if I don't clear it, you know,
That's because they're starving
children in another country, right?
Yep.
And so I think if we teach children that it's okay not to clear your plate. If you're full, stop eating.
Right.
Stop.
Right.
You know, the other thing that we do here in America is bigger is better.
Oh, yeah.
So if you were to look at a dish, a plate, a dinner plate from the 1920s and a dinner plate from 2020.
Wow, yes.
Huge difference.
The dinner plate
Now.
is more like a dessert plate back in the 20s than our dessert plate now.
Right.
And ours is like a platter.
True.
Yeah.
I can't even fit. I bought
Portion control, right?
Yes.
Yes.
I bought my son and his wife these dishes for their wedding that she had picked out. And they would hardly fit in the cabinet because they were the dinner plates were so big.
Wow.
And so it is all about the eye.
Yes.
The eye tells the brain. So if you go to a really fine restaurant and they bring you this and you've got these little bits of food, your eye automatically says, "What the
I'm gonna be
heck?
hungry in 10 minutes."
And I want that big platter and supersize it. And it all sticks together and it touches. If my food is touching, then I have enough food. Yeah. And so we've taught this to our children.
Right. Yes.
And it's just
ourselves.
escalating and escalating and escalating. Yeah. Can you imagine in 20 years what the plate size is going to be? This table right here.
Oh boy, God forbid.
So what can we do? What can we do? We need to portion control, understand portion controls. And if we're going to teach children the portion control in schools, like in preschools, as the teacher is role modeling the portion control, she's taking the same portion as the
Children,
child,
right?
So that they can see that this is a healthy portion.
Right.
Get them moving. Get up and move yourself. Don't just tell the children to go out.
Right.
Go out and do it yourself. Do it with them, which is the whole other thing of engagement.
Yeah.
Let's do it together.
Yeah.
Let's do it together.
And you know, a lot of preschools, they do promote the family style where the kids are kind of serving themselves. So maybe just helping the children learn, like, okay, one scoop is good. Start with that. And with our kids, we always gave them a small amount. And then if they wanted more, they could have more.
You know, the other aspect of that teaching portion control and teaching to read your body cues is, why don't we talk while we have meals?
Yeah.
My teachers in my preschool hated it when I would come in to serve breakfast or lunch because we would fine dine.
Yeah.
Fine dining as opposed to fast fooding it.
Yeah.
Which means we sat at the table and I had conversations, which meant the children ate until they were full.
Right.
And
But they weren't just
do that
eating,
at
they
home.
were talking.
They were talking.
At home, you're learning about what's going on with your
it's
children.
helping digestion, it's
communication.
helping your body functions. So that also in turn will help obesity as well.
Well, and resources, right? So My Plate, food guide pyramid, not just portion control, limiting fast foods,
But what you're eating.
What you're eating.
Why don't we exchange that
Take the cheese off the broccoli.
that processed food when they're young,
Right.
and give them natural food.
Plant a garden. We
That's
talked
it.
about that in preschool. We can do it at home. You can pick your own herbs. You can pick your own vegetables.
That's right.
Yeah.
Plant a tree.
I have green pepper at home. They're like this big.
Your bell peppers?
My bell peppers. But they're delish, but they're like this big.
And you have an orange tree?
And I have an orange tree,
We had an apricot tree grow out of our yard when the kids were really little. And what I mean grow out of, I didn't know it was there. So there was a bush when we bought the house, and I saw this thing sprout up, and we watched it, and we realized it was an apricot tree that somebody tried to cut off. It produced the best apricots, and the kids would go out there and eat those all day long. And then we actually made apricot jam together. We'd make apricot cobblers, and So you can add those wonderful little sweet extras, but you just be cautious about how much. You know, all things in moderation.
Right.
Using fresh fruit, using substitutes.
Right.
So there's lots of
Yeah.
resources out there that can
Right.
help.
And I think
teachers
it's
and parents.
important when children are really young, don't put them on diets. I really am
Yeah.
so against
Just eat
diets for
healthy.
young children.
Yeah.
When you're an adult, you do with your body what you want. But when you're talking about young children,
Right.
they need carbs and they need all of the food groups.
Yes.
And
they
their
need
bodies
to-
are growing.
They
so,
need to move.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and they need to learn what to eat and how to eat and portion control. They can
Right.
learn all those healthy habits.
Right.
You put them on a diet, you're bypassing all of these other things we need to do and
Besides,
consciously decide.
at that moment,
Yes.
you are crushing their body image, their self-body
Right.
image.
You need to do this.
by
I'm just
doing that.
not.
So if they do need that balanced diet. They do need those carbs. They do need those calories, but they also need to move.
Exercise and move
So
their body,
remember
yes.
that child, 5 to 17, need to be actively engaged in active physical play,
Right.
3 hours every day.
Yep.
Every day.
And we need to
Every
advocate
day.
for that in our schools.
That's right.
You know, I mean, we can do
Yes.
some at home, but let's face it, with homework and all of the other things that children are required to do, it really leaves a little time for those things that are healthy for
Yeah.
them. So schools need to be part of that. The whole system needs to get on board with what we need to do to reduce
So,
obesity.
to recap,
Recap.
obesity is high in America. It's really high in children between the ages of 5 and 17. Remember, get those kids out 3 hours a day throughout the day. It doesn't have to be in one big chunk. Throughout the day, they need to be engaged in active physical play, and you need to be active with them. And we need to role model that good food habits so that they are healthy. Thank you for joining us. We hope to see you again real soon on Child's View.